Is looking fine. Storm Team 2 radar starting to show a few isolated showers down along the lower Charleston County coast, but for now we're mostly dry. Temperatures climbing through the upper 70s into the low 80s. We're marching our way into the mid and upper 80s here through the lunch hour into early afternoon, with scattered and numerous showers and thunderstorms developing later on today and into this evening.
CCSD Virtual Academy deadline: what you need to know before school starts this fall. Face mask enforcement, the impact it's having on tourism in the Lowcountry. And a new Star Wars special you won't want to miss. News 2 Midday starts right now.
Now, count on 2, live and local in the Lowcountry. This is News 2 Midday.
Good morning. Thanks for watching News 2 Midday. Today is Friday, August 14th. I'm Taylor Murray, in for Temple Ricky. Today is the last day to register for the Virtual Academy being offered this year for Charleston County School District. This is one of 3 options for parents. The 3 learning options in CCSD are in-person, virtual, and temporary remote instruction. District officials say the Virtual Academy is best for parents who know they do not want their child in the classroom. You are not stuck with the option you choose for the first day of school. CCSD's Chief Academic Officer says kindergarten through 8th grade students can choose another option after 9 weeks. High school students must commit to the chosen option for at least a semester before switching to another option.
That way, that's a nice block where we can do a progress report, sum up progress made to date, and make a transition, if it's not been working well for a particular family, back into either a temporary remote, or if there's room in the school, and that's where the families are now, to in-person instruction.
A CCSD parent shares with us that she chose virtual learning for her twin boys. She plans to connect with other families in the Virtual Academy to make the process easier.
I know some people already who are doing the virtual option. And so I want to get those parents together and try to come up with something creative so that we can get our kids together on a daily, maybe bi-weekly kind of option. And, you know, whichever house they go to, being outside, socially distanced, you know, doing things that are, you know, maybe like some kind of fun gym class.
Right now, CCSD only plans to let 25% of students back in the classroom for in-person learning. There's still no plan on how those students will be selected. You can find a link to the Virtual Academy registration on the district's website. State Superintendent of Education Molly Spearman in the Lowcountry yesterday, meeting with CCSD leaders to discuss safe reopening plans. News 2's Danielle Hensley joined the school leaders for a tour of a local elementary school to see how the district is preparing for students to arrive in just a few weeks.
State Superintendent of Education Molly Spearman says CCSD is leading the state in reopening plans. Other districts are implementing social distancing measures such as plexiglass dividers on desk. State Superintendent Molly Spearman says in-person education is best for students, and that the state is working to get everyone back in the classroom as safely as possible.
And we are requiring, though, that every district look at their numbers every 2 weeks as the trend data comes out and as they change their mode of instruction.
CCSD Superintendent Jaretta Postlethwaite says there is a new online platform that will be used this year, which is said to be more user-friendly. Teachers have been trained on the software, and the district is providing training for parents.
Where they will actually receive training about how to turn on the Chromebooks, how to use the software that's available, what's expected, where to look for their children's records, and where to look for their children's homework.
Postlethwaite says school nurses have been trained by the Department of Health and Environmental Control on contact tracing.
We'll follow the DHEC guidelines. Those who've been within 6 feet proximity of a student for more than 15 minutes will be contacted that day if possible. And then we'll follow the protocol about quarantining the students.
CCSD will require masks be worn by everyone in school all day. Reporting in North Charleston, Danielle Hensley, Count on 2.
The question of whether to return to the classroom is especially difficult for parents and teachers of special education students. Special education teachers say those students may have a hard time adjusting to a virtual setting and many are at a higher risk of COVID-19 complications. Some teachers are opting out of teaching for their safety and that of their family. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos laid out what districts should do if they do not have enough teachers for in-person and virtual options.
All educators and families need to be focused on doing what's right for kids.
The National Education Association worries the threat of federal or state funds being withheld will pressure schools to reopen, even if it's not safe. The Department of Defense wants children who attend school on military bases back in the classroom. Plans for the new school year include in-person, remote, and virtual learning options. Right now, 10,000 students are enrolled virtually. 25 of 50 schools on military bases in the U.S. will be remote. The DoD says it is ready to react to any COVID-19 outbreaks at these schools and that they'll do whatever's necessary to keep military families safe. Guidance on taking care of children during the pandemic released by the American Academy of Pediatrics. Experts say cloth masks can be safely worn by children ages 2 or older. This includes most children with underlying health conditions. They say school and child care plans must include wearing masks and suggest having your child wear one at home so they can get used to it. The experts also say a child should be tested for COVID-19 if they develop symptoms, were in close contact with someone infected, or scheduled for elective surgery. If that test comes back positive, other family members should also be tested. Doctors are addressing how to prevent bringing COVID-19 into your home after school. Suggestions include having your child immediately change clothes and leaving their backpacks at the front door. Doctors also say to continue hand washing and make sure masks are washed every day. One doctor shared the precautions he taught his own children for the classroom.
Try not to touch your face. Don't share drinks. And just really be extra mindful about close contact.
Doctors also say parents should show kids how to properly wear a mask and to pack extra in their backpacks. Today is move-in day for the class of 2024 at Charleston Southern. New student and freshman orientation start tomorrow and classes start Wednesday. And the College of Charleston pushed back the first day of classes to September 14th. Students were originally scheduled to start classes August 24th. All classes are starting virtually, and housing, dining, and parking fees are prorated according to the new first day of classes. Tentative move-in dates are September 11th through 13th. Students will have to sign up for a time slot. Starting this weekend on the Isle of Palms, hundreds of parking spots back open for beachgoers. This after weeks of battles over the issue. News 2's Riley Benson has been covering the story since spots were first eliminated.
Isle of Palms leaders voted to ease parking restrictions on the island today. This comes nearly a month after City Council voted to eliminate a significant amount of beach access parking back on July 15th. The restrictions have come with heavy criticism. Parking will now be available along Ocean side of Palm Boulevard from 21st through 40th Avenues, along one side of the Finger Streets from 3rd through 9th, the land side of 41st through 57th on Palm Boulevard, and municipal lots are now open for full capacity. Isle of Palms Mayor Jimmy Carroll says restrictions were put into place to prevent the spread of COVID-19, but says case numbers have actually increased. Carroll believes City Council was doing everything it can to protect both residents and visitors to the island.
8% of active cases in Isle of Palms. That's a lot. So let's spread it out a little bit. Let's give people more room to social distance. And, you know, these are baby steps. This is an unprecedented pandemic. There's no rule book to tell us how to do anything. You give me a hurricane, we know what to do. You give me an unprecedented pandemic, and none of us know what to do. But we're trying our best.
Now back on Monday, I did speak with Isle of Palms Mayor Jimmy Carroll. He told me he was hopeful council will begin easing some of these parking restrictions in place. One thing to note, the new restrictions won't take effect until Sunday. That's when the parking emergency ordinance is set to expire. From the Isle of Palms, Riley Benson, Count on 2.
News 2 is your local election headquarters. U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham honoring law enforcement while campaigning here in the Lowcountry. The senator from South Carolina was in Charleston raising money for the Sheriff's Office Employees Assistance Fund. News 2's Hannah Powers was there last night and had a chance to talk with the senator.
Everyone gathered here today to support law enforcement and those men in blue, but the bigger conversation had to do with re-election.
At the end of the day, I'm going to win and Trump's going to win South Carolina.
Re-election on the mind of Senator Lindsey Graham. He answered questions at the event covering topics on the front of many people's minds, like Black Lives Matter protests and calls to defund the police.
And what's going on in America has got zero to do with George Floyd. It's got everything to do with a radical agenda that wants to turn the country upside down. When you poll African Americans about defunding the police, about 80% say, no, I'd like to have more police. I'd like to have good police.
Senator Graham also talked concerns about the Postal Service and absentee voting this election.
Voting absentee by mail, requesting a ballot, an application, or actually a ballot through the mail makes sense to me. We'll do that this year. But the idea of mailing everybody living and dead a ballot and hope it gets to the right house and there won't be any cheating is ridiculous. My neighbor's shirt came to my house today and my 2 bills went to his house.
Senator Graham not the only one with elections on his mind. Sheriff Al Cannon also running a campaign, getting support today from the senator who says it's never been harder to work in law enforcement.
I don't know why anybody want to be a cop now.
It's a challenge.
Sheriff Al Cannon grateful for the support from Senator Lindsey Graham. Reporting in West Ashley, I'm Hannah Powers. Count on 2.
Senator Lindsey Graham will be in the Low Country once again today. He will tour Nucor's steel mill and will meet with company leadership this afternoon. Graham's challenger for his Senate seat, Democratic Jamie Harrison, holding a Facebook Live town hall tonight. The virtual Generation Next and Now event focusing on issues facing young voters and recent graduates of high school and college. Harrison was joined by young student leaders, and the topics covered concerns like student debt, entering the workforce and climate change. A historically black Mount Pleasant community is responding to improvement plans for Highway 41. The Phillips community dates back to the 1800s, and the county says no one will lose their homes. Elijah Smalls Jr. has fought to protect his property and community from the proposed expansion for nearly 20 years.
Some homes would have to be just gone, and those people, they're just going to be, displaced. They won't be able to buy a home anyplace else because there are no affordable homes anyway in the area for individuals from communities like this.
A virtual meeting that includes a place where you can weigh in on the project is open through September 11th. We have a link on our website, counton2.com. A request for the state Supreme Court to determine whether the Heritage Act is unconstitutional. A letter sent from the state attorney general's office asks for a ruling on current legislation. The letter claims the Heritage Act makes it difficult to remove flags and memorials tied to a war, historical figure, or event from a public place. Charleston's Home for Improv Comedy is celebrating 25 years as a group. How they've managed to keep the laughs going even amid the ongoing pandemic. News 2's Katie Turner brings us the details coming up. South Carolina's $24 billion tourism industry has taken a hit because of the pandemic. Hotel occupancy dropped to just 20% at the end of April. It's normally around 80%. The Department of Parks and Recreation and Tourism is working with lawmakers to help the industry recover. The department's director says the biggest issue is unemployment.
And in the hospitality industry, it's well over 25% unemployment versus the state number is about 8.5%. And so we are about 4 times the unemployment in the rest of the state.
The industry is also dealing with liability protections as businesses reopen and corporate travel resumes. Charleston officials have issued more than 100 warnings and nearly 20 court summons to punish those not wearing masks. Many of the perpetrators, tourists. News 2's Kate Prestak spoke with the city and local health officials who are issuing a stark warning in regards to masks not being worn.
That's right, and according to the city's livability office, those mainly not following that mask ordinance are both tourists and tour guides.
I think the tourism side is a little problematic. All the encounters I had when approaching tourists or out-of-town guests, they say that they're not aware of the ordinance. However, everyone that I have stopped and talked with has a mask with them. They were just not wearing it at the time.
Recent data from Trident Health shows the trends of Charleston and the mask ordinance. The chief medical officer, Dr. Lee Biggs, says that the peak of all cases in the Low Country and the state was the 10th of July, and 2 weeks later, a peak in mortalities. Cases started to drop after more mandates went into effect, but with another holiday coming up, doctors are on high alert.
Peak cases, 2 weeks later, peak the most severe aspects. That doesn't mean that in 2 weeks after a spike, everybody's well and goes home. I mean, these are still multi-week hospital stays with incredibly sick people. But if we don't learn from Memorial Day and July 4th and apply that to what we're about to go through with school reopenings and Labor Day, then we could be creating the same conditions to build another peak in cases.
Riccio says the city is also on high alert as there's an overwhelming concern of trying to reach these individuals before they go out into the public without a face covering.
And that's why we really rely on all the entities with the hotels and the restaurants and the CBD and all the retailers to get that message across if they see a tourist or a visitor, and just let them know, please wear a mask. It's mandatory. It's the law.
Riccio says that as of now, the CBB is assisting in that effort to ensure that masks are worn by tourists, tour guides, and merchants here in the city of Charleston, and they hope that that Labor Day model does not come true. In downtown Charleston, I'm Kate Prestak. Count on 2.
A face mask giveaway this afternoon being held by Representative Gilliard and his team in an effort to keep those in need of face masks safe from spreading or contracting COVID-19. The mask giveaway is today at 1 o'clock at 18 Chapel Street. Well, Josh, a little bit of rain, a little bit of sun. I can't keep up. I don't know what shoes to wear out the door. What's going on?
You know what? It's called summer. That's what it is.
That's summer.
Actually, you know what? It is a little bit of an unsettled weather pattern here compared to normal. We're just seeing a few more thunderstorms than we normally do. And they're kind of coming at weird times of the day, too. We had them in the morning, and then we're getting them in the evening.
I can't keep up.
It is one of those. And it's going to be like this not just today and into the weekend. We're going to keep this going all the way through much of next week. Let's show you what's going on. First, we want to go out into the tropics. This is Tropical Storm Josephine. Not going to amount to much. In fact, this is really going to have a hard time even holding together here over the next couple of days. It's moving to the west-northwest at about 16. There's the track right there. Notice this is turning out to sea and will be weakening as we head toward the weekend. The first part of next week, this is of no major consequence to us here in the Low Country at all. We can sleep on this one. There's another little area up off the Outer Banks that may try to develop into something over the weekend, but it won't be a problem either. Upper 70s to low 80s right now, except low to mid 80s out toward the Sea Islands where we've seen a little more sunshine. Upper 80s to near 90 if this afternoon inland. We'll be in the mid 80s out toward the beaches. A southwest wind at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. As we move toward 1 o'clock, we'll maintain about a 30% chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. 89 as we head toward 3, around 87 at 5, 84 at 7. The radar showing one lone little cluster of showers moving across lower parts of Charleston County from Seabrook and Kiowa out toward Pawley Beach. That's now moving off the coast. That's all we've got right now, but later on this afternoon, as the heat and humidity builds, we're going to see another round of these scattered showers and thunderstorms. And I also want you to notice a lot going on back to the west after sunset. That may try to make a run for us overnight, so just keep that in mind. We could have showers and storms going well into the night tonight, with overnight lows in the mid-70s to right around 80. And as we look ahead, tomorrow, another round of this. This really isn't going to change much. Not just for the weekend, but all the way into early next week. Highs will be in the upper 80s, low 90s. Overnight lows will be in the low to mid 70s. And look at that. As you count to here for the 10-day outlook, mid to upper 80s. Yeah, we're going to keep this going all the way to the middle and end of next week. You know, one of the perks about a Friday here at News to Midday is you get to see 2 weekends on your 10-day outlook. And unfortunately, they both look the same. It's going to be partly to mostly cloudy, warm, humid, with occasional showers and storms based off of everything we see right now. Well, hopefully we can dry it out a little bit as we get into next week, but at this point I wouldn't hold my breath on it.
A rare heart condition often caused by viral infections is now linked to COVID-19. A report published this month shows at least 5 Big Ten athletes discovered they have myocarditis. It causes inflammation in the middle layer of the heart wall. A cardiologist at MUSC says 5 to 7% of athletes who die from sudden cardiac arrest have the condition. Dr. Brian Houston explains how COVID-19 could play a role.
Usually what happens is the virus itself sets up an inflammation in the heart, and then the immune system makes things worse. So we think that COVID-19 or the coronavirus could similarly cause a myocarditis.
Houston says because college athletes push their bodies to the limit almost daily, they are more likely to die from the heart condition than a non-athlete if it goes undetected. Fall sports postponed until the spring for the Southern Conference. The league's President's Council approved the plan by majority vote Thursday. The door is still open for schools, including the Citadel, to play non-conference football games. The director of athletics for the Citadel released a statement saying athletes and coaches are disappointed about the news. He goes on to say, as a rule, we do not cancel or curtail important elements of the cadet experience unless and until we must. Our primary consideration as we assess the possibility of non-conference contests will remain the well-being of our cadet athletes and the entire campus community. Offensive lineman Sami Carley, who came over from the Gamecocks this season, tweeted heartbroken for guys like Thomas Crawford, Brandon Rainey, and Raleigh Webb. Quarterback Brandon Rainey simply said, "Crazy man." And linebacker Willie Eubanks III just wrote, "Hurt." There's no word yet on what fall sports will look like for the ACC. The Clemson Tigers are still practicing like there will be a season. Head coach Dabo Sweeney and other coaches say players are safer on campus and on the field than at home. Wild Dunes Resort has officially reopened after temporarily suspending most services in July due to the pandemic. Enhanced precautionary measures have been implemented to ensure the safety of resort employees, guests, and community members. And beginning today, the resort will accept stays in the village at Wild Dunes Resort and their vacation rental homes and condos. Taking a look at what's trending on the News 2 app, improvising through the pandemic, Theater 99 celebrating 25 years in Charleston. Local comic shop Captain's Comics and Toys hosting free Comic Book Day Light event this weekend. And Charleston artist Misfit Doodles to release a new line of printed baseball tees.
Stay in the know on the go with the News 2 app, sponsored by Havens Furniture. Now, Count on 2, live and local in the Lowcountry. This is News 2 Midday.
Good morning. Thanks for watching News 2 Midday. Today is Friday, August 14th. I'm Taylor Murray in for Temple Ricky. Let's head right over to the Lowcountry's morning meteorologist, Josh Marthers. Josh, good morning.
Hey, Taylor, let's show you what's going on. Already a few showers trying to pop right now out along the coastline, and these are some pretty decent showers about to move over Lake Marion. I wouldn't be surprised if we get some lightning strikes in these here in the next little while. Bottom line here today, just be prepared for a shower or thunderstorm really at any point. These will be popping up. They're going to be popping up at random. You could get a downpour at any time between now all the way through the night tonight and into the day tomorrow. Highs will be in the mid to upper 80s. We'll keep that rain chance going through the weekend. We'll talk a little bit more about your weekend forecast coming up with the Low Country's only 10-day outlook. That's in about 10-15 minutes from now.
The family of a Charleston man who was assaulted last week speaking out. News 2's Raymond Owens spoke to the family, who says they want more people charged for allegedly trying to help that suspect get away.
The family of Philip Rock held a press conference today saying that they want justice after he was punched out right here at the Players Place in West Ashley last week.
Upon walking to his car, he blacked out, woke up in the hospital. He was informed by staff and others at Players Place Billiards that he fell.
Rock had a dash camera in his car.
His wife went to go check the camera, and she was appalled and surprised at what she saw. She saw a man chase him out the bar, call his name, and then without warning, without provocation, without any prior encounter, strike him hard in the face, knocking him to the ground where he struck his head on the vehicle and the sidewalk.
Rock has been hospitalized due to his injuries. Charleston police arrested and charged Christopher Lee White, 35, with assault and battery of a high and aggravated nature for the incident that happened last Wednesday night.
On the video, which you will be provided with, it can be heard saying, "Go home, Chris," to the assailant. Right after the attack happened, he was aided and abetted and allowed to escape apprehension. We believe that on that night, that the bar owners and operators knew what had happened, but failed to report that to the police, failed to report that to Mr. Rock.
I called and stopped by Players Place but could not reach them for comment. In their press release, the Charleston Police Department said, quote, "The management of Players Place Billiards and Sports Pub was very cooperative and instrumental in the investigation." Frazier tells me the family plans to continue pushing for justice in this case, possibly even holding protests in the future. In West Ashley, I'm Raymond Owens. Count on 2.
A wrongful death lawsuit filed on behalf of the tow truck driver killed in an accident on the Don Holt Bridge. William Ellis Jr. tried to help another driver who pulled over on July 1st, along with Charleston County Deputy Mike Costanzo. Another driver then slammed into the deputy's cruiser, injuring the deputy and causing Ellis to fall into the Wando River. His body was recovered the next day. The lawsuit claims the driver who hit the cruiser and the SCDOT were negligent. It says the DOT did not have a way to keep Ellis from falling off the bridge. The Charleston County Sheriff's Office is investigating a shooting on Savage Road. Medics took one victim to the hospital around 8 last night. That person is expected to be okay. There is no word on any arrests this morning. Deputies are also investigating a shooting on James Island. We are told a vehicle was damaged by gunfire around 7:30 last night on Grimble Road. No injuries were reported. A man rescued from a trench on Pawley's Island. According to Midday Fire Rescue, that man got buried up to his shoulders in a pit yesterday on a construction site on R.B. Thompson Way. The man, who reportedly works for Georgetown Water and Sewer District, was treated at the scene. Medics then took him to the hospital. There is no word yet on his condition. Charleston's home for improv comedy, Theater 99, is celebrating 25 years as a group. News 2's Katie Turner explains how they've managed to keep the laughs going over these last few months.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but the beauty of it is that you get to try again, you know, so it's okay. There's fun in failure. There's funny in failure too.
An abundance of laughs for 25 years, since 1995, when Brandy Sullivan, Greg Tavares, and Timmy Finch performed their first improv show as the group The Have-Nots.
We have a really unique chemistry that's always worked. We've always been on the same page as far as, you know, loving it. And we love each other. It's like a family now, more than, you know, friends. It's definitely a little family.
Their family facing a brand new challenge as COVID-19 has forced their doors to shut since March.
We started streaming shows at the theater when it was safe enough for us to get on stage without masks and do the shows. We're like, let's do this. And so we started streaming them, and we have like a group of 10 people in the audience, like family and friends that come in. So it really has that interactive feeling still, and we get people to chime in online.
And what felt like the first time in months, they were able to laugh again.
It's one thing that we missed in those first few months. It's like, wow, we're used to laughing a lot more regularly. So it was good to get back to that.
The Have-Nots will be performing a live stream show for their 25th anniversary, as well as the 20th anniversary of Theater 99 this Saturday. You can find out everything you need to know on our website, counton2.com. In studio, I'm Katie Turner. Count on 2.
Now it's time to take a look at some of the big stories from around the country trending on counton2.com right now. After being closed for months due to the pandemic, AMC announced it's reopening theaters next week. And tickets will be just 15 cents on reopening day to mark the company's 100th anniversary. It's never too early for tricks and treats, right? You may have noticed Halloween-specific candies and packaging already available in some grocery stores. Hershey has joined forces with retailers to have their products available earlier than usual. This because candy makers fear the COVID-19 pandemic might negatively affect sales during what is typically their biggest season. Dunkin' is making pumpkin. The Massachusetts-based company is making its pumpkin-flavored coffee and espresso and bakery treats available next week. This is the earliest Dunkin' has brought its fall-flavored products to consumers. The fall items will be available for a limited time. No word yet on if Dunkin' plans to bring its Christmas treats back earlier than usual this year as well. And a new candy shop in New York City is going to make life a little less sour. You can go wild in the first ever Sour Patch Kids store that's now open. Inside, there are tons of colorful, limited edition merchandise, along with the candy that's for sale, including mugs, t-shirts, socks, and even beach totes. Visitors also get to try out known sweets that have been reimagined with the Sour Patch flair. Chefs have put their sour but sweet spin on everything from smoothies and ice cream to cookies. Visitors can even create their own candy mix.
Taking a look at the satellite image of our brand new tropical storm. Been around for about 24 hours and may not last much longer than 24 hours. Honestly, it is forecast to move to the north of the islands and then turn out to sea as it weakens and disappears here as we head toward the first part of next week. On the other side of the break, we'll talk about what you could expect here in the Low Country this weekend with the Low Country's only 10-day outlook coming up. It is 11:41 and temperatures are warming up into the low to mid 80s right now. You can kind of see where the cloud cover's been this morning in the upper 70s to right around 80 in the north. And you get farther to the south back toward Walterboro and even Edisto Beach. It's warmer right now in Edisto Beach than it is in Moncks Corner. You don't see that very often, with temperatures climbing for the most part into the upper 80s to right around 90. Again, this is assuming that we break a lot of the cloud cover and see more and more sunshine. Once the sun comes out, we'll heat up pretty quickly. I mean, we could jump 4 or 5 degrees in an hour in some of these areas that are still stuck in the upper 70s and low 80s. And we'll see another round of scattered showers and thunderstorms. As we plan out the afternoon, intervals of clouds and sun, still just a slim chance for a raindrop or two here through about 1 or 2 o'clock. As we move toward 3, and then eventually towards, say, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's when the rain chance will go up. And we're going to maintain that at a fairly decent level through the overnight hours, and I'll show you why in just a second. First, let's look at the radar. We do have some isolated showers, some heavy showers up across Lake Marion. Those will slide maybe up toward King Street in an hour or two if they hold together. We're also starting to see some showers here across upper portions of Charleston County on the radar, right around McClellanville, and then down a little bit farther south, we've got a few out near the harbor entrance. Those are headed out into the ocean, shouldn't cause any problems. Our high-resolution guidance confirming what I was talking about. Most of us are going to be dry between now and about 2 o'clock. And then once we get toward 3, 4, 5, that's when we'll start to see things heat up with the coverage of showers and storms increasing. And it looks like we may even get an uptick in the action after dark, kind of like what we saw a couple of weeks ago with waves of showers and storms coming through at night. That may be the case tonight, so just be prepared for that. And we're going to keep this pattern going all the way through the weekend and even into next week. This just does not break. So warm, muggy with a storm risk, southwest wind tonight at about 5 to 10 miles per hour in the 70s. Let's look ahead to tomorrow. Near 90, off and on scattered storms. Not a washout. No reason to completely cancel your plans. But I'd have a good plan B, and my plan B would be one I can do just like that if I need to, because these storms are going to be rolling around. Same thing Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, and count on 2 for the Low Country's only 10-day outlook. As we head into next week, highs will be in the mid to upper 80s with scattered to perhaps even numerous showers and thunderstorms each and every afternoon.
To Your Health, sponsored by Summerbee Senior Living.
A team of doctors and researchers at the University of Minnesota are getting resourceful in the fight against COVID-19, taking a novel immunotherapy designed to target cancer and repurposing it to fight the novel coronavirus. Kent Erdahl reports.
For years, the U of M's Masonic Cancer Center has been developing genetically modified NK or natural killer cells to target cancers like lymphoma, but using the same cells to target COVID-19?
You know, it sounds strange, yes.
Dr. Jeffrey Miller knows.
One of the things that we've learned throughout the natural killer cell literature is that NK cells not only can kill cancer, but they have antiviral properties.
And that helped convince the FDA to approve the first ever human trial using NK cells to fight the novel coronavirus.
So who would get something like this?
What we decided, and this was really a negotiation with the FDA, is we decided that the cells would be best tested in kind of an intermediate sickness population.
For now, they're starting with a small number of COVID patients at Bethesda Hospital who do not need ventilator support. But even in this controlled environment, there are considerable risks.
There's a lot of worry with giving immune cells, you know, even to patients with cancer. If they get overactivated, they can cause an inflammatory state that really revs up the immune system and can cause problems.
How do you do this safely?
Literally, the first patient who was dosed got a single dose of cells. The next patient will get 2 doses of cells, and we have several steps along the way. Like if we get toxicity with 1 dose, we won't give 2 doses.
But if the doses and the trial show promise,
this could be the early start of a paradigm shift about how we think about how cell therapies can be used to treat many diseases beyond cancer where we initially started.
Friday's Pets on 2, sponsored by Ashley Home Store.
An adorable black cat in Virginia is becoming a Hollywood star, or at least a star's fur baby. The kitty's name is Dennis Quaid, and that's who's adopting him. The actor is the co-host of a podcast called The Pet Show. He says he saw a news story that said the cat had waited more than a year for adoption. Lindsay Ward reports that's when the actor decided it was time to have 2 Dennis Quaids in the family.
Danielle Ulmer gives kitty Dennis Quaid all the hugs and scratches, but soon those will come from the Dennis Quaid.
That's DQ, is it? It was really off the wall, but I just couldn't resist. Had to.
He couldn't pass up adopting this little guy with his name from the Lynchburg Humane Society.
Well, I'm out to save all the Dennis Quaids of the world. Ever we could do that.
While it's not on the top 10 list for most popular cat names, it has certainly sparked a lot of buzz. Meet Dennis Quaid. After 10 News featured Dennis Quaid the cat in our Clear the Shelter segment.
Hi there.
How are you? That story caught the attention of the Hollywood actor, musician, and now podcaster.
There he is.
Yeah, there he is.
Up on the couch. We also have the Pet Show that Jimmy here is doing, and I'm executive producing on it, and it's really just turned out to be really one of my favorites.
A shelter cat with his name, plus a pet podcast, equals the perfect adoption story.
We're going to actually rescue this kid.
A tale so good, shelter staff didn't believe it at first.
I was like, oh, there's no way this is real. Like, someone's pranking us. I was like, the real Dennis Quaid.
We reached out to the shelter. It took us a while for them to actually believe us. And then once we got past the no, we're not trolls or crazy people.
After that, they got to meet kitty Dennis Quaid via Zoom. And this weekend, Jimmy will fly from LA to Lynchburg to pick up the new office pet.
Maybe I should start naming animals in shelters after different celebrities and see who bites.
We've already talked about that. We're like, all right, so everyone pick your top 3 favorite celebrities.
Hey, it worked for Dennis Quaid the cat, and he's already mastered his close-up.
Guest here at News 2 while we practice safe social distancing. So we decided to bring Pets on 2 to you another way. A News 2 viewer sent us a picture of their very own little kitty cat. Meet Scoot. Scoot's owner, Nicole, says this little guy is a fur ball of energy. Scoot is always on the move, cutting around the house, jumping onto high shelves, and always meowing for attention. To sum up Scoot, Nicole says he is just, quote, such a cat. A big thank you to Nicole for sending us this adorable photo of little Scoot. And if you're interested in adopting a cat like Scoot or even Dennis Quaid, head over to Pet Helpers. They have plenty of pets waiting to find their forever home. Just call the number on your screen for more information. And keep it right here. News 2 Midday continues after this short break. A new special called the Lego Star Wars Holiday Special is set to premiere on Disney+. According to StarWars.com, it is set to take place right after the events of the last film, Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. In the special, Lego Rey leaves her friends to prepare for Life Day. While on her travels, Rey is thrown into a cross-timeline adventure. Iconic heroes and villains of the saga will show up on the special, including Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, and Yoda. The Lego Star Wars Holiday Special will debut on Disney Plus on November 17th. Starting today, gamers can grapple with a new edition of the Ultimate Fighting Championship video game. Rick Damagella reports in our game segment.
Did I have fights in the street yet? But that was many years ago.
Mixed martial arts fans can enter the virtual octagon in EA Sports UFC 4.
It's mixed martial arts. We are the artists.
It's been more than 2 years since EA Sports UFC 3, with the latest iteration featuring a new fighter progression system giving players more control over the characters they create, along with updated gameplay mechanics from clinch control to takedowns.
It's in a really bad situation here.
The game's new career mode gives players the ability to create backstories for their fighters, while relationship building mechanics affect in-game rivalries and partnerships.
Welcome to the UFC.
Leveling up in Hollywood, I'm Rick Damagella.
And don't go away. News 2 Midday continues right after this short break.
Rooftop weather, sponsored by Preferred Home Services.
It's noon. Let's get your afternoon started here as we head through the lunch hour. We do have a few showers showing up on Storm Team 2 radar right now. These are mostly down along the Charleston County coast, right now in upper Charleston County. Around McClellanville, seeing a little bit of light rain right now. Nothing to get too worked up over, but later on this afternoon, we'll see more scattered storms. We'll talk more about that and your weekend forecast coming up in about 15 minutes.
Now, Count on 2, live and local in the Low Country. This is News 2 Midday.
Good afternoon. Thanks for watching News 2 Midday. Today is Friday, August 14th. I'm Taylor Murray in for Temple Ricky. Today is the last day to register for the virtual academy being offered this year for Charleston County School District. This is one of 3 options for parents. The 3 learning options in CCSD are in-person, virtual, and temporary remote instruction. District officials say the virtual academy is best for parents who know they do not want their child in the classroom. You are not stuck with the option you choose for the first day of school. CCSD's chief academic officer says kindergarten through 8th grade students can choose another option after 9 weeks. High school students must commit to the chosen option for at least a semester before switching to another option.
That way, that's a nice block where we can do a progress report, sum up progress made to date, and make a transition, if it's not been working well for a particular family, back into either a temporary remote, or if there's room in the school, and that's where the families are now, to in-person instruction.
A CCSD parent shares with News 2 that she chose virtual learning for her twin boys. She plans to connect with other families in the virtual academy to make the process easier.
I know some people already who are doing the virtual option, and so I want to get those parents together and try to come up with something creative so that we can get our kids together on a daily, maybe bi-weekly kind of option, and whichever house they go to, being outside, socially distanced, doing things that are maybe like some kind of fun gym class.
Right now, CCSD only plans to let 25% of students back in the classroom for in-person learning, and there's still no plan on how those students will be selected. You can find a link to Virtual Academy registration on the district's website. State Superintendent of Education Molly Spearman in the Lowcountry yesterday, meeting with CCSD leaders to discuss safe reopening plans. News 2's Danielle Hensley joined the school leaders for a tour of a local elementary school to see how the district is preparing for students to arrive in just a few weeks.
State Superintendent of Education Molly Spearman says CCSD is leading the state in reopening plans. Other districts are implementing social distancing measures such as plexiglass dividers on desk. State Superintendent Molly Spearman says in-person education is best for students, and that the state is working to get everyone back in the classroom as safely as possible.
And we are requiring, though, that every district look at their numbers every 2 weeks as the trend data comes out and as they change their mode of instruction.
CCSD Superintendent Jaretta Postlethwaite says there is a new online platform that will be used this year, which is said to be more user-friendly. Teachers have been trained on the software, and the district is providing training for parents.
Where they will actually receive training about how to turn on the Chromebooks, how to use the software that's available, what's expected, where to look for their children's records, and where to look for their children's homework.
Postlethwaite says school nurses have been trained by the Department of Health and Environmental Control on contact tracing.
We'll follow the DHEC guidelines. Those who've been within 6 feet proximity of a student for more than 15 minutes will be contacted that day if possible. And then we'll follow the protocol about quarantining the students.
CCSD will require masks be worn by everyone in school all day. Reporting in North Charleston, Danielle Hensley, Count on 2.
The question of whether to return to the classroom is especially difficult for parents and teachers of special education students. Special education teachers say those students may have a hard time adjusting to a virtual setting, and many are at a higher risk of COVID-19 complications. Some teachers are opting out of teaching for their safety and that of their family. Secretary of Education Betsy DeVos laid out what districts should do if they do not have enough teachers for in-person and virtual options.
All educators and families need to be focused on doing what's right for kids.
The National Education Association worries the threat of federal or state funds being withheld will pressure schools to reopen even if it's not safe. The Department of Defense wants children who attend school on military bases back in the classroom. Plans for the new school year include in-person, remote, and virtual learning options. Right now, 10,000 students are enrolled virtually. 25 of 50 schools on military bases in the U.S. will be remote. The DoD says it's ready to react to any COVID-19 outbreaks at these schools, and they'll do whatever necessary to keep military families safe. Guidance on taking care of children during the pandemic released by the American Academy of Pediatrics. Experts say cloth masks can be worn safely by children ages 2 and older. This includes most children with underlying health conditions. They say school and child care plans must include wearing masks and suggest having your child wear one at home so they can get used to it. The experts also say a child should be tested for COVID-19 if they develop symptoms, were in close contact with someone infected, or scheduled for elective surgery. If that test comes back positive, other family members should also get tested. Doctors are addressing how to prevent COVID-19 in your home after school. Suggestions include having your child immediately change clothes and leaving their backpacks at the front door. Doctors also say to continue hand washing and make sure masks are washed every day. One doctor shared the precautions he taught his own children for the classroom.
Try not to touch your face. Don't share drinks. And just really be extra mindful about close contact.
Doctors also say parents should show kids how to properly wear a mask and to pack extra in their backpack. Today is move-in day for the class of 2024 at Charleston Southern. New student and freshman orientation starts tomorrow and classes start Wednesday. And the College of Charleston pushed back the first day of classes to September 14th. Students originally were scheduled to start classes August 24th. All classes are starting virtually, and housing, dining, and parking fees are prorated according to the new first day of classes. Tentative move-in dates are September 11th through the 13th, and students will have to sign up for a time slot. Starting this weekend on the Isle of Palms, hundreds of parking spots back open for beachgoers. This after weeks of battles over the issue. News 2's Riley Benson has been covering the story since spots were first eliminated.
Isle of Palms leaders voted to ease parking restrictions on the island today. This comes nearly a month after City Council voted to eliminate a significant amount of beach access parking back on July 15th. The restrictions have come with heavy criticism. Parking will now be available along Ocean side of Palm Boulevard from 21st through 40th Avenues, along one side of the Finger Streets from 3rd through 9th, the land side of 41st through 57th on Palm Boulevard, and municipal lots are now open for full capacity. Isle of Palms Mayor Jimmy Carroll says restrictions were put into place to prevent the spread of COVID-19, but says case numbers have actually increased. Carroll believes City Council was doing everything it can to protect both residents and visitors to the island.
8% of active cases in Isle of Palms. That's a lot. So let's spread it out a little bit. Let's give people more room to social distance. And, you know, these are baby steps. This is an unprecedented pandemic. There's no rule book to tell us how to do anything. You give me a hurricane, we know what to do. You give me an unprecedented pandemic, and none of us know what to do. But we're trying our best.
Now back on Monday, I did speak with Isle of Palms Mayor Jimmy Carroll. He told me he was hopeful council will begin easing some of these parking restrictions in place. One thing to note, the new restrictions won't take effect until Sunday. That's when the parking emergency ordinance is set to expire. From the Isle of Palms, Riley Benson, Count on 2.
News 2 is your local election headquarters, and U.S. Senator Lindsey Graham honoring law enforcement while campaigning here in the Lowcountry. The senator from South Carolina was in Charleston raising money for the Sheriff's Office Employee Assistance Fund. News 2's Hannah Powers was there last night and had a chance to talk to the senator.
Everyone gathered here today to support law enforcement and those men in blue, but the bigger conversation had to do with re-election.
At the end of the day, I'm going to win and Trump's going to win South Carolina.
Re-election on the mind of Senator Lindsey Graham. He answered questions at the event covering topics on the front of many people's minds, like Black Lives Matter protests and calls to defund the police.
And what's going on in America has got zero to do with George Floyd. It's got everything to do with a radical agenda that wants to turn the country upside down. When you poll African Americans about defunding the police, about 80% say, no, I'd like to have more police. I'd like to have good police.
Senator Graham also talked concerns about the Postal Service and absentee voting this election.
Voting absentee by mail, requesting a ballot, an application, or actually a ballot through the mail makes sense to me. We'll do that this year. But the idea of mailing everybody living and dead a ballot and hope it gets to the right house and there won't be any cheating is ridiculous. My neighbor's shirt came to my house today and my 2 bills went to his house.
Senator Graham not the only one with elections on his mind. Sheriff Al Cannon also running a campaign, getting support today from the senator who says it's never been harder to work in law enforcement.
I don't know why anybody want to be a cop now.
It's a challenge.
Sheriff Al Cannon grateful for the support from Senator Lindsey Graham. Reporting in West Ashley, I'm Hannah Powers. Count on 2.
Senator Lindsey Graham will be in the Low Country once again today. He will tour Nucor Steel Mill and meet with company leadership this afternoon. Graham's challenger for his Senate seat, Democratic Jamie Harrison, holding a Facebook Live town hall tonight. The virtual Generation Next and Now event focusing on issues facing young voters and recent graduates of high school and college. Harrison was joined by young student leaders, and the topics cover concerns like student debt, entering the workforce, and climate change. A historically black Mount Pleasant community is responding to improvement plans for Highway 41. The Phillips community dates back to the 1800s. The county says no one will lose their homes. Elijah Smalls Jr. has fought to protect his property and community from the proposed expansion for nearly 20 years.
Some homes would have to be just gone. And those people, they're just going to be, displaced. They won't be able to buy a home anyplace else because there are no affordable homes anyway in the area for individuals from communities like this.
A virtual meeting that includes a place where you can weigh in on the project is open through September 11th. We have a link on our website, counton2.com. A request for the state Supreme Court to determine whether the Heritage Act is constitutional. A letter sent from the state attorney general's office asked for a ruling on current legislation. The letter claiming the Heritage Act makes it difficult to remove flags and memorials tied to a war, historical figure, or event from a public place. More COVID-19 related deaths, are now predicted over the next month in the United States. You are looking at a chart of the current case and death tally. Johns Hopkins University calculates more than 167,000 Americans have died from the virus. The CDC predicts that number will rise to about 189,000 by September 5th. Here in South Carolina, DHEC reports nearly 104,000 cases since mid-March. It includes nearly 23,500 in 6 low-country counties and nearly 2,100 deaths, including 341 in the low-country. South Carolina's $24 billion tourism industry has taken a hit because of the pandemic. Hotel occupancy dropped to just 20% at the end of April. It's normally around 80%. The Department of Parks and Recreation and Tourism is working with lawmakers to help the industry recover. The department's director says the biggest issue is unemployment.
And in the hospitality industry, it's well over 25% unemployment versus the state number is about 8.5%. And so we are about 4 times the unemployment in the rest of the state.
The industry is also dealing with liability protections as businesses reopen and corporate travel resumes. A face mask giveaway this afternoon being held by Representative Wendell Gilliard and his team in an effort to keep those in need of face masks safe from spreading or contracting COVID-19. The mask giveaway is today at 1 o'clock at 18 Chapel Street.
It is 12:18 and we're still tracking a tropical storm out in the Atlantic. This is Josephine, the earliest J storm on record, by the way, in the Atlantic season, and it is headed to the west-northwest at 16. Max winds are at 40. This thing's really barely hanging on. It's not going to make it much longer. It may try to strengthen a little bit, but each advisory, the National Hurricane Center is bringing this intensity down. I just got to be real. I just don't buy it. I just really don't. I'm not sure this thing goes any higher than it is right now. If it even makes it past the weekend, I would be shocked. It's pulling in a lot of dry air. It's being sheared apart. It's really struggling. Remember what I told you a minute ago, too, by the way, if you were watching us about 30 minutes ago, we had a lot of 70s on the map. I said once the sun comes out fully, these temperatures would drop or jump 4 or 5 degrees like that. Well, they did. We're now in the mid-80s area-wide, where a lot of these numbers were only right around 80 at the 11 o'clock hour. As we head into the afternoon, should have no problem making it into the upper 80s to right around 90, except along the beaches will be in the mid-80s. Southwest winds at 5 to 15. Partly sunny. Intervals of clouds and sunshine, very tropical-like look to the sky today, and then we'll see those scattered showers and thunderstorms develop a little bit later on. Planning forecast, 1 o'clock, just a slight chance for rain, 89 at 3. Notice a rain chance going up late afternoon into the evening hours. We'll be in the mid-80s by 7. Storm Team 2 radar showing some isolated showers across the low country this morning. We've got a couple of them out here along the Charleston County coast, one right up to the north of Allendale, right around McClellanville, and then some out off of our coastline. But that's really about it. This one actually clipped the beaches right on Sullivan's and the Isle of Palms, a little sprinkle there. But this afternoon, we'll see more and more in the way of showers and thunderstorms. Now, here's the thing. They're just going to be roaming around, all right? There's no rhyme or reason. The lid's off the atmosphere. They're just going to go wherever they want to go. So there's really going to be a difficult time on timing these and saying location. There's no real distinctive pattern to this, okay? It could rain on you at 3 p.m. It could rain on you at 10 o'clock. It could rain on you at 1 o'clock in the morning. That's just how this pattern is, and it's going to be that way at least through the early part of next week, with highs in the upper 80s to low 90s. And we're going to keep that going all the way into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of next week. High temperatures in the mid-80s to right around 90. Overnight lows in the low to mid-70s. Off and on showers and storms. No end in sight to this pattern right now.
A rare heart condition often caused by viral infection is now linked to COVID-19. A report published this month shows at least 5 Big Ten athletes discovered they have myocarditis. It causes inflammation in the middle layer of the heart wall. A cardiologist at MUSC says 5 to 7% of athletes who die from sudden cardiac arrest have the condition. Dr. Brian Houston explains how COVID-19 plays a role.
Usually what happens is the virus itself sets up an inflammation in the heart, and then the immune system makes things worse. So we think that COVID-19 or the coronavirus could similarly cause a myocarditis.
Houston says because college athletes push their bodies to the limit almost daily, they are more likely to die from the heart condition than a non-athlete if it goes undetected. Fall sports postponed until the spring for the Southern Conference. The league's President's Council approved the plan by majority vote Thursday. The door is still open for schools, including the Citadel, to play non-conference football games. The director of athletics for the Citadel released a statement saying athletes and coaches are disappointed about the news. He goes on to say, as a rule, we do not cancel or curtail important elements of the cadet experience unless and until we must. Our primary consideration as we assess the possibility of non-conference contests will remain the well-being of our cadet athletes and our entire campus community. Charleston County Public Library is closing 3 regional libraries on Saturday, August 22nd to undergo renovations as part of the ongoing referendum-funded project. Otranto Road Regional Library, Johns Island Regional Library, and the Cynthia Graham Hurd St. Andrews Regional Library will receive updates, including new interior finishes, refreshed collection items such as books and audiobooks, technology upgrades, and newly designed children and teen areas. Don't go away. More News 2 Midday after this break.
right, here's a final look at your forecast as we head toward the weekend. Really not much change. This is just kind of a rinse and repeat forecast. We've been stuck in this pattern now for about 7 days, and unfortunately, we've got another 7 to 10 of it. Afternoon high temperatures each day within a couple of degrees either side of 90. Overnight lows in the low to mid 70s. Rain chances hovering around 40-50%. And count on 2 for the low country's only 10-day outlook. That goes all the way to next weekend, Taylor Murray. Doesn't mean it's going to rain the entire time. But you know what? I'd be prepared for a downpour at any point. Don't be that person that gets caught off guard, okay?
All right, thank you, Josh. And thank you so much for joining us for News 2 Midday. The news continues online at counton2.com. We hope you have a great day. We'll see you back here for News 2 at